Hello, and welcome to the Casino Tears podcast. I'm one of your hosts, 10 Ton is number one, and joining me as my co-host is the one and only Ed Robinson from Roll to Win Craps. If you want more info on our show, please visit our page at casinotears.com. On this week's show, we discuss Tunica, The Forgotten World, Gold Strike, Vegas prepping. We also touch on crapless, qualifying rules, cotton fields, blocking it out, happy accidents, laying the ATS, and Ed's throat punch to the goozle. Ed, listen, before we get into what I did today, I've just been thinking about what you did this weekend, which was Tunica
practice,
but it was pumpkin season in Tunica.
dude.
I want to hear all about it because
I told you.
I doubt you took the ginkgo, so I got to get it. I got to get this on tape
What's ginkgo?
before it leaves your brain.
Is that stuff in that bottle I haven't opened yet?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so let's hear it, man. I got my coffee in our exclusive mug here.
What all are you drinking? I mean, there was something else. You were drinking a can a minute. You drinking
I'm
that?
two fisting right now. I've got Yerba Mate, Peach Revival, and then I've got coffee. And it's
How many carbs? How many grams of carbs are in the yerba mate?
carbs, 4.
That's not too bad for a can.
3 sugars.
Ain't worried about sugars.
Caffeine because I got to wake up. Tell me, man, you sent me a lot of pictures. You sent me a lot of pictures of a lot of orange/pumpkin chips this weekend. Rumor has it that you hit the ATS 3 times? 3 times, maybe 4?
At least twice. At least twice.
Let's
By my hands.
hear it, man. It's been a minute since you went on a little trip.
It's been since August, since I've been anywhere. I've been getting ready for Vegas, and this was part of the getting ready for Vegas piece. Go play $25 tables with ATS on.
Oh, nice. See, that is serious. You are practicing, gonna practice like you play, right?
Yeah. We went to the casino to practice.
So you took a little trip up to Tunica.
Tunica, the forgotten world.
Yeah,
as they call it. Yeah.
Tunica is older. It's older than Biloxi, though, right? As far as did that come first? Tunica come first, and then Biloxi.
Yeah, Tunica was first legally.
Got a little more history.
It was one of the biggest boom towns. I mean, it was probably as much action as Atlantic City back in the day.
Yeah, man, I like it.
So,
where'd you stay?
I needed to get some Caesar's points, and that's the only place I stay anyway. So we went to the Horseshoe there.
Okay.
The host set us up. Actually, the host had texted me and made me an offer, and I asked the wife. I said, "Yeah, let's go."
They made you an offer you couldn't refuse, huh?
Yeah.
What was the offer?
Oh, they were having some gimmicky thing, you know. You get so many pulls on a $25 slot machine for free, and then if you don't win nothing, they give you free slot play, blah, blah, blah. Just one of those gimmicks.
You accepted.
Without question.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so we went down. I mean, but now I had to put this in there too, because it's the first time I've been back to Tunica since my son passed. And that's where I was when I got the news, was in Tunica.
I thought about that actually. I obviously I've never wanted to bring that up, but you know what? Since you did bring this up, one of our listeners, guy named Cash, he discovered our podcast and was listening to it and sent me the nicest message after he heard about your son. And he's like, I really want to send Ed an email, but I didn't want to like just bring it up. And I said, you know what? I'll just tell Ed
tell him to send me an email whenever he wants to.
When the opportunity arises, and it just came up. So I'm going to give him your email. But yeah, he was definitely thinking about you, wanted me to let you know that.
And my whole goal was to not get emotional about anything, not get too high, or definitely not get low. Just kind of my mindset was go in there and just stay level as you possibly can mentally. Play your game, get ready to go to Vegas, practice your moves, practice like you play like you practice, as I always say, right? So as fortune would have it, we got there in the afternoon. We had dinner reservations at 5. So there was no rush. We unpacked, took our time getting the room ready, getting everything set like we want it. And the wife said, I'll be down a little bit before 5. I know you're going downstairs. So I went downstairs to check out the tables. There was the table that I was standing at, and the spot was open that I was standing at when I got the phone call.
Mm.
So I said, okay, you can man up and go play right there. First thing.
Nice. And did you?
I did.
Hell yeah, man. That's what I like to hear.
I manned up, went there, went to the right spot, same table, right off the bat. I bought in with $620 on a $15 table.
So does it go to 25 or was it 15? Most of those are 25s, right? Or not?
Well, they all weekend they had a couple of $15 tables, and the rest were always 25. They had $100 table. Oh no,
Mm.
it was a $500 table. It was reserved.
Oh, damn.
So
Man.
there's still
Okay.
some ballers running around in
Hell yeah.
Tunica, I guess. Yeah, it's 20, 15, 25 is the norm now. Most of them are on Friday night, Saturday night. They're all going to be 25, except for a couple. They leave a couple open for $15 players.
How many tables they got? Eight?
Seven,
That's
seven.
legit. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. They're right in the front door, right at the front door. Yeah.
Nice, man. You gotta like that.
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
Yep. They've got them all lined up, 3 on each side and 1 on the end cap.
That's just like Caesar's here, man.
They're legit. I mean, they've got, people don't realize it. If you're on a $25 table, they got 100 times odds.
They have 100 times odds there.
100
Damn.
times odds for your ballers out there.
Yep.
So, but it does give you an opportunity at certain times. I mean, they got 10 times odds on a $15 table, as I understand it. So you can be on a $15 table with a $30 pass line because you're playing 10, 10, 10, and you can go 200, 300, $500 odds on a number if you want to, if you want to. But anyway, I was just there to like get my nerves in place, get my feel for the environment on that first little session.
Yep.
Wife came down about quarter to 5, close to 5. I was tossing the dice. I just told her, I said, I'll be there as soon as this hand's done. I colored up. I think I was down $115. Between me and a few other guys, it's just playing around on the table. Uh, so first session, got through it.
But mission accomplished, right?
Yeah, yeah. Mission accomplished as far as your mental state, as far as everything else for me
So
was
were you
concerned.
able to put everything out of your mind when you had the dice? Did you shoot a couple times or did you shoot once? Were you just able to? Because one of the reasons why I like playing craps is I'm totally focused. So I'm not thinking about anything else but that, not work, not any problem. I'm just locked in and it's kind of nice for my brain to not be thinking about the rest of what's going on in my life. So was that the case with you?
Exactly. It was.
Sweet.
I didn't worry about anything. On time, when I stepped over uh to where I actually listened to the phone call and stuff, I mean, it brought back the memories,
Right.
but I was able to get right on through it.
Man, memories are a bitch. I try not to remember. Ed, I really don't.
Try
I
not to
really
remember last month.
I try not to remember a lot of things in my life, man. I'm definitely not, that fucking Bruce Springsteen song, the fucking glory days. Dude,
No.
I'm not into that. Like I don't really look back on my I'm always looking ahead to the future to the $100,000 bankroll and busting a casino. That's where I'm looking towards.
Yeah.
So
So we had, it was fine. My wife had already gone into they weren't even open yet, and they saw her and they waved her on in,
nice.
you know.
So they traded you well. Yeah,
Yeah. The host was waiting for her
that's cool.
in there, and they had our favorite booth already reserved for us and had a good meal, great meal. Had our
Nice.
favorite server, bartender, everybody that always we use, they were there.
Good.
Had the bartender actually gave me his personal cell phone number, said anytime you're in town,
Need a drink? Every time you in
yeah, you need
town,
a drink, just
need a
give me a
drink,
call. No,
just give
he's
me a
like, no,
call.
he's like, if you ever get up here, and you're staying and like, holy crap, I forgot something.
Hmm.
Walmart's not close.
I forgot my wallet.
Nothing like that. I mean, because the cotton fields were in bloom, man. The cotton fields look beautiful down there.
Really? I've never seen a cotton field in person.
I should have took some pictures
Yeah,
for
why didn't
you.
you, man?
I
I
thought
seriously.
about you. I said, when I drove in, I thought, I wonder if 10 tons ever seen cotton fields.
No, I have not,
Oh
dude. I've
man,
just seen.
they were in bloom. I mean, they were gorgeous. It was beautiful. It looked like
Really?
snow out through there. Yeah, looks like snow out
Man,
through
you
there.
should have taken a picture.
I should have. I should have.
Ah, man.
They were starting to harvest. That you could see the combines running on some of the fields. You could already see it. This time, it's that time of year where they're harvesting the cotton up.
That's pretty cool, man. I would have liked to see that, dude.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry I didn't take a picture of that.
They only harvest cotton like once a year?
Yeah,
Oh, really? I had
yeah.
no
Only once a
idea.
year.
So it's right around pumpkin season. It's
It's
cotton
it's
season and pumpkin season
it's
right around
cotton
the same.
season. Yeah, I prefer pumpkins, quite frankly.
Yeah, because white chips, cotton chips, man, dollar chips, dude, we want the $1,000 pumpkin.
I told you that on that last podcast that just dropped, I guess today,
Yeah, part two. Good. That's in the past.
it's all over with. That's in the past, but I have looked at your chart.
No, dude, let's talk about you.
Let's talk
Yeah,
about
that
me.
the
Let's talk,
problem
talk
is
about you and your
my
fucking
chart is
chart.
that it's always there. That's good. Now you could check in on it, right? You could be like, hey,
I forgot about it till today. I was like, let me see what he's been doing. Anyway,
ginkgo.
ginkgo, my ass. I'm too busy to take ginkgo.
You
Anyway,
are not though.
so wife and I had a good dinner. She went off to play her slots.
Yep.
So out of my bankroll, there goes some money.
Yep.
Right. I was prepared for that because, I've been married to her 30 years almost. So I know what was coming
Yep.
and went back to the tables and caught an ATS from another shooter.
Ah, that is like a gift from the heavens above, isn't it?
Mm.
When a random shooter but so Ed, the long shot bet comes in the entire ATS. He hit them all.
Yeah, that's what an ATS is.
Well, sometimes you hit one side.
I didn't say a side.
Nice, man. Well, I was
I
just
said
detailed,
that was just 555.
but still free money.
Yeah.
What'd that
If,
whole thing end up paying? Like a grand. Cool, man. Nice.
so it was good. I needed it. I needed to kind of rebuild what I'd paid, give my wife and all that kind of stuff, and got me up. And I'm up. I'm feeling pretty good. And funny thing is, I said, well, let me take a break. I colored it. Well, actually, here's what I did. Here's what happened was they were paying out the ATS and it was taking a little long. And I leaned over and told my dealer to cut my bets off, and he sevened out right there.
Yeah, well, he did his job, man.
He did his job.
I
I
mean,
had the
geez, man.
ATS, and I got my. I probably had three or four or $500 on the table that I got back.
Did you qualify this random shooter that you had bet $15 on the ATS with? And did you have $15 on your pass line? How did you play that hand?
I had $15 on the pass line and waited to see what the point was and bet the 6 and 8.
So just minimal. And this
Yeah.
guy delivered.
Yep.
You know what? Low expectations, low risk, but you put yourself in a position to have a super high reward.
Built up. I built up and spread out. I mean, I had money on probably every number by the time he hit the ATS. When he hit one side, I'm feeling pretty good. I got extra bullets I can put in my rack.
What was the last number he needed? Do you remember?
It was a box number.
Oh man. So what were
It
you
was like a
thinking?
10.
Were you thinking like, oh, I'm gonna lay
Never.
this?
No.
That's interesting, man. I mean, I might have, you're gonna make 750 plus 150. Yeah, you're gonna make $900 right there. I mean, you could have laid that 10 for like 300 if you wanted to, and then just to guarantee yourself $150, or you like, fuck it.
I'm like, that was a really good bet when there was no numbers covered. It's a
Mhm.
better bet when I only need a 10.
Okay, that's an interesting way to look at it. I'm
Yeah.
surprised actually that you wouldn't lay that. I feel like you would lock up that sure bet,
For
but
555? Nah, I won't
that is
play
a
it.
gambling man, man. That is a gambling man in Tunica right there.
If you're gonna, you need to have more than 555 on there, in my opinion, to lay a number to lock up. I think because it's just I mean, you're just eroding your possible win.
Well, you've got 900 in one hand, I guess, but
Yep.
then if you laid that 10, then it take down to if you did 300 just to win 150, then your max would be 600 then. So 600, you can guarantee 600 or 150. That's a tough one, man.
Like I say, if it was a good bet when he was coming out, that's even a better bet when all he
So
needs is
you're
a
going
10.
for it all, and he came through.
Yeah. And then I turned my bets off and he 7 out.
Ah, perfect, man. That's perfect.
So
Wow. Why'd you turn your bets off? Because it was just taking way too long and the energy was just all gone at
it
that
was
point?
taking a while, and I've always had that rule on even on the side. If it takes a long time, turn your bets off for a roll or two. On an all that always takes longer,
Yep.
you should always turn your bets off. At
Yeah.
least one or two rolls. At
Yeah,
least
that's
one, if
cool.
not two rolls.
That's a good suggestion. Seems like it happens. All the air comes out of the.
Yeah, everybody's getting paid out. Everybody's high fiving. And then here comes a 7. Ends the party.
Yep. Well, I mean, yeah.
So I colored up right after that
Did
immediately.
you shoot?
Yeah, I shot.
How was your shot?
My shot was good all weekend except for one time.
They have the big dice or the regular dice there.
They had the small dice. Well, there was a couple of tables that actually, it's same casino. Some tables would have the large dice, and some tables had the small dice.
Ed, you know what I find interesting because again, you've been playing longer than I have. I can immediately notice the big dice feel so much bigger. But man, when you find a casino that has those big dice, it is like yum yum time for me. I'm like, I'm gonna
I don't
roll
even
up.
care. I don't even care. I mean, you've got a better grip maybe on the
Hell
larger
yeah.
dice, but most of my rolls this weekend were on the small dice because that's what they had. I mean, I don't get to tell them what kind of dice I want.
I wish I could. I'll tell you where I found some, but we'll save that for later.
So I go to the men's room,
Hmm.
just kind of taking a break. Plus, I needed to go to the men's room. I'm washing my hands, and there's a guy standing behind me looking at me in the mirror, and he goes, "You're Ed."
Man, was it
Yeah.
awkward or were you just like, what's up?
No, I mean, I was washing my hands. It was not like I was taking a pee and he's standing there behind me.
Yeah. How do you know
It
you?
was Rudy. Rudy.
Rudy?
He was Rudy.
No, Rudy, the host.
No, Rudy, the fan
Who the
of the
hell?
podcast.
Who's
And
Rudy? Rudy,
Rudy
who?
is Rudy.
I don't know Rudy.
Well,
I don't
that was
know.
his name. His name's
I don't
Rudy.
know Rudy. Man,
Rudy,
Rudy,
he's a fan of the podcast, and he's
nice.
a fan of my YouTube channel. And we got to talking, and we walked out. And we talked. He was an old time player, but he played with Howard, and
Oh wow, dude. So Rudy's been around.
Rudy'd been around a while. And so we talked for a while. We're standing out there looking at the craps pit, and I'm sitting there looking at 2 empty tables. And I finally like, you want to give that in there a shot? And he said, "Yeah, let's go play."
Dude, where's Rudy from? Do you know? You
I
remember?
didn't even ask. I didn't even
I
ask.
would have asked that.
So great guy. We had a good time talking, but we had a terrible time on the table. Neither one of us could get anything going on this table.
Yeah, it
It would
happens.
be, yeah, it was like both of us, and nobody else is on the table.
So Ed, all right, I'm curious because okay, so you couldn't get anything going. So were you qualifying yourself? Okay, new table, you and Rudy walk up to it. What was your bets? Because I think people really would want to know.
$20 5 and 9, $30 6 and 8.
Was it still a $15 table or did the limits go
No,
up?
I take it back. It was a quarter table, so it was $25 5 and 9,
Okay.
110 inside.
Okay, so wait, on you, did you qualify or you just that's what your base
I've
bet
already
is? Okay.
shot 3 or 4 times
All
today. I
right, so
already know
you're
what I'm
nice
going
and
to do.
so you're warmed up even though it's a new table.
Yeah, and my shot looked great, but I just couldn't get the results. I mean, they were like 2, 3 tosses and out.
And obviously you're betting the ATS, of course, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's on every table there.
Are you betting 555 on it or are you betting 10 10 10?
I think I probably started out 10, 10, 10 because I had money in my pocket, and then I cut on down to 555.
Nice.
Depends on what's happening at the time.
Yeah.
You're feeling good, you got money in your pocket, you go 10, 10, 10.
Yeah.
If it's bleeding you down a little bit, go five, five,
Yeah.
five.
The craps are gnawing at your balls, right?
So we couldn't get anything going. And finally I turned around and went, Kobayashi, dude.
Nice. Nice. Kobayashi Rudy.
Yeah, Kobayashi. And we chatted and shook hands. And he went towards the cage because he bought in with chips because he had like 3 or 4 pumpkins in his pocket.
Oh man, he was already down. Pumpkin patching. Yeah,
Yeah,
pumpkin
yeah,
picking.
he had pumpkins going. I walked around for a minute, just kind of gather my thoughts, and then there was a table open.
So now you've been to a couple tables. How
Oh
long you
yeah,
been playing? Probably a couple hours. I'd be
yeah,
tired.
yeah.
I'd be tired, but that's the difference between you and I. Go ahead.
Nobody on the table.
Nice.
I buy in for $1,000.
And you're solo.
I'm solo at the beginning.
Okay.
Not long after, and I had a kind of an average hand. I'm just kind of feeling it out.
Do you remember your set? Do you remember your sets at this point or any of them? Because I know you mentioned in the last podcast that you were putting together and
I
practicing
was,
your
yeah,
8 sets, your 8 sets for Vegas.
yep,
When I was editing this and listening to that, I'm like, because you always come back and you catch things like funny jokes that you might say that I don't hear.
yeah,
So I made a note. I'm going to ask Ed about these 8 sets and why eight
yeah.
and what are they?
I'm not going to tell you.
I don't even know 8 sets. I'm like, I got 6 sets that I
I,
can practice.
if I've got 8 sets, there's 4 that have sevens in the same spot, and there's another 4 that have sevens in the same spot, but they're totally different axes. So then I can transpose any of those 4 sets into any of the other 24 sets that I want to
Damn,
that have the same axis.
that is deep.
It takes practice.
That's deep
We're going to go over that. We're going to go over that in the.
in the class.
It's not a class, dude. Don't
It's it.
call it a class. This is
It's
not a
the
class.
it's the
It's
event.
an experience.
Yeah,
It's an
it's the
experience.
experience, right?
Yeah. My come out game did not work on those tables. That was fine. I set a point. I start shooting for the point because I'm going on up in the odds a little bit at that point. So if the point's 8, I might be going $200 odds.
Oh, because you can.
Yes, I can.
Yep. Okay.
And I did. And I was using a 3V because I had an inside number.
Are you going up in the odds on the 8 just because it's an 8 or 6? Is that why? Versus like if it was a 4, you would have been chill with your odds?
No, at 4, I would have gone. Sometimes I won $100 odds on 4s and 10s,
I know. I love having big odds on 4 and 10s.
but I didn't do it every time. Sometimes just 50, 5 and 9s. I was either 100 or 200 every time to start. I've always told you I'll pull my odds down some after a few tosses if I don't hit it quick.
I remember that. All right. You got 200 odds behind you on the 8. That's nice. Got to feel confident about that. It's an 8.
So I went 5, 6, 8, just a little simple iron cross with a come bet.
Oh, man. You were really using the old combat? Man.
I do it. I do it when I'm checking out the
Mm,
table, checking out
okay.
my toss. It's a hedge. It's a teeny tiny hedge against your field bet, and your field bet hedges the come bet. Blah blah blah. And another guy had bought in at Stick Right, who turned out to be a fan of
Oh,
the
who is he?
podcast. He never told me his name, and so he didn't. Since he didn't offer, I didn't ask.
What'd he say? Did was he like casino tears?
We talked about it at the cage. I mean, he
Okay.
was a fan of the Roll to Win
All right,
and
nice.
Casino Tears.
Man, Tunica, man. They're listening to
I
you,
know it.
Ed.
They're listening to us.
Nice.
And so I just kind of had an average little hand. Nothing didn't break me or make me or anything. And he got on a pretty good little run. And he hit a lot of 9s. So the funny thing was,
Were you betting on him? Because you had to qualify him.
I watched him shoot. I watched him shoot.
Hmm.
And I watched him set the dice. I watched him fly 3 times. He hit the same spot, had the same toss. I said, I'm betting on this guy. Went on out a little wider,
Okay.
got on the 5 and 9. I'm
Yeah. So Ed, the fact that someone is taking the dice when you're qualifying someone and that you see them set the dice, does that?
no, no, no. Setting the dice don't mean shit. Can they launch them the same way and can they hit the same spot on the table every time? That's the question.
Okay.
So it was check mark, check mark, check mark. Okay, I'll take a little more chance on this guy.
Qualified.
A little more chance on this guy.
Okay, cool.
I think we're on a $15 table, back on a $15 table there. He hit 5. I had a $20 5. Doesn't really matter, 25 or 20. Next move is 36. He hit another five eventually, went to 80.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, let's see if he can bring me in 116.
Okay.
And he did. Short order, he hit it again.
Whoa.
I've already pulled $4 out of my rack and set it in front of me. As soon as he hit it again, I dropped $4. I said, take me to 200. Right? He hit it again. I'd already
You have five
and when
fives?
I'm not done.
Repeater.
So he when I went to 200, I went ahead and pulled $10 out of my rack and set it in front of me as change because that pays 300 for 10.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, he hit it. And so my smart person play was telling me to go ahead and regress that
Yeah.
because I just collected 300. I collected 110, gave him $4, collected 290 bucks. And so I reduced it to 80. Dealer kind of looked at me kind of funny. Nice little.
Be like a bee.
I kept thinking that over and over and over.
Be like a bee.
I was going bzz,
Yep.
bzz. And so I dropped it down to 80. And so that puts money back in my rack, which I was, I wanted to put money in the rack.
Got to.
Son of a gun if he didn't hit another one.
Man.
And so I was like,
It's like
same
six
bet.
fives. Yeah.
So I go same bet.
Yeah.
That's 116 back to the rack.
That's cool.
She's shaking her head and laughing at me because I'm laughing at her and I'm going like, be like a bee.
So, hey, man, there's nothing wrong with putting money in your rack.
Yeah, he hit it again.
Nice, man.
I
Do you
gave
know
her
what
two. I
set
gave her.
he was
I
using?
never could see. I never could see his set because he had big fingers and it just kind of kept them covered and tossed.
Big five.
Yeah. So I went back to 200 and he hit the damn thing again.
Wow.
So I'm well up off of. I'm okay after my session, and then he's got me up. I think he hit a side even. I think he may have hit a side
Mm.
of the ATS 555. So then the dice come to me.
Yep.
And I go 10, 10, 10, $5 for the dealers, 212 for the dealers. And I put 35 on the pass line,
I like that move.
$5 crap check.
Nice. Perfect hedge, dude. Perfect
Yeah.
10-ton triangle, dude.
That's the 10-ton triangle.
Yep.
And I got on a run. And I was using my 3V set, which was giving me one die on axis, one die off axis, and I was hitting hard tens.
Mm.
And I had already spread out and had already gone up to $50 on the 10.
Okay.
And the second hard 10 hit. And I said, well, dummy, you need to be on the hard 10. So I pressed the 10 on up to 100 and I put $25 on all the hard ways.
Oh,
All the
nice.
hards.
Okay. I like that, man. Strong play.
Because I'm like, I might get a lucky, as you call it, a happy accident here or there.
Yeah, I like
But I was
happy
hitting hard
accidents.
tens, right? A few more throws later, hit a hard 10.
Oh my God, 3.
Yeah. And pressed everything up a quarter. So I got $50 on all the hard ways.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just tossing and tossing. And I'm hitting point after point after point. Don't players are gone.
Goodbye. See you later, don't players. Have a nice time. Not going to the cage.
I've got the dealers up on the hard ways, pressing their hard ways up,
Man,
pressing mine up.
yep.
I'm giving them extra change as it comes in. So, put you, what?
Rudy buying you drinks. The hell is
Rudy was gone. I
Oh,
couldn't
Rudy
find Rudy. I
missed
kept
this, man.
Yeah, he missed it.
Rudy, come back to the table, dude.
Rudy missed it. I couldn't find him. I never saw him again that I know of. And I hit the tall.
Nice.
I'm like, well, that's a good 300 bucks.
Take it.
I'm down to like needing aces, but I'm not changing my set.
Oh, you're not changing your set, Ed.
I got more money coming in than I got on the ATS coming to me. So I'm not worried
Normally, in
about that.
some cases, you would, but maybe you try for it on the come out roll if you have the
Not at this
opportunity.
point. Not at this point, because I'm really focused on what my dice are doing, what my set's giving me, and it's the same numbers over and over, like the same 3 numbers over and
Just
over
keep
and
it
over.
going, man. Don't ruin a good thing.
I'm sitting there with dude, I've got $1,000 5. I got a $1,200 6.
Oh my God, dude. Pumpkins are on the table, right? They're just seeing little pumpkins. The chips are turning into little pumpkins.
I hit a hard 8 at $50, and I pump them all up another quarter.
Okay, nice. This is getting spicy.
I'm at $75 on all of them.
Oh yeah.
I
This
throw
is
another
a
hard
dream.
10. Then I throw another hard 10 during this
Your
process.
fourth hard 10, dude?
And yeah, and that's the only way I hit it. I'm sitting there with a two
Oh
hundred
my
fifty dollar.
God.
I'm sitting there with a $250 tin. And I've thrown four hard tens.
That's baller, dude. That is playing craps.
I didn't press it to 500. I collected the 500.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it was an in-game decision.
I will never say it's a bad decision to take any money and put it down because the casino just gave you money and you're just saying, okay, cool.
Did I say I bought it? What I bought in with $800. I
You
don't know
said
what
something
I
like a
told you.
thousand.
I did not. It was $800. I bought in with $800 on that table because it was a $15 table.
Okay. So you're rolling, dude. You're rolling.
Then I hit the ATS.
Then you hit the aces.
Hit the
Happy
ace.
accident, right? Was it a good toss?
That was a good toss. It was a good
Man,
toss. It come out good.
what'd you do? What'd you do after you hit the ATS? You just like go fucking fist bump anyone?
No, no, I'm just waiting on everybody to make their bets so I can keep throwing.
So people showed up then. You had a crowd then
Oh yeah, we had a decent little crowd at the table by then.
gathering around.
And I'm focusing on trying to hit the point. Why do I want to hit the point? I want to try to throw a come out 7 so I can reset the ATS. They wouldn't let us rebet it until that place will not let you
Really?
rebet the ATS until there's a 7.
Fucking so many weird little rules that make me like
Yeah,
not
everybody's
like
got. I mean, they got 100 times odds, but you can't reset the ATS until you throw a 7. So I'm trying every time I'd make a point, and I kept making point after point after point. I mean, if it had been a fire bet table, I'd have probably hit 5 at least. Anyway, doesn't matter. It wasn't on there. I can't throw a 7 to save my life.
man, what a problem to have. What a
I mean,
problem to have.
I am
I feel
literally trying.
I feel,
I am.
feel bad for
I
you.
am.
Every craps player in the world feels bad for you right now.
I am trying to throw a 7 to reset the ATS, and I cannot throw one. So I make a point or set a point, and then and then I start shooting for the point so I can try to reset.
Right.
Betting the dealer's up really nice all the way through the hand, and they're having a great time. I mean, they've got the flow. They got the flow of my bets. I'm throwing them money, and they know. I mean, they're pressing their bets.
Nice.
I mean,
It's a symphony. It's beautiful.
their 6 and 8 starts from almost nothing. They're up to like $90 on their
Oh wow,
sixes
man,
and
that is a
eights. I
roll.
mean,
That's a
they're
roll, dude.
pressing. Yeah, they're pressing on up. They finally took the 8. I said, look, what happened to your 8? She said, well, I took it down, but I still got my 6. And I said, you still need an 8. So here's $30. I give them, that's like keeping them in the game, having a
Yep.
good time, hitting a few hard ways with good money on them,
Yep.
and finally 7 up.
Mm.
Finally, ultimately. And so I'm counting my rack up, get a good rough estimate on it, what I got. Want to make sure I get a good count on from the box. And we're talking they've rotated through the sticks. And so they're having a discussion that was somewhere between a 50 and a 60-minute roll.
That's a nice time to be spent it in the pumpkin patch, man.
Yeah, yep. So they had I cashed up $8,500 after tips
That is impressive, man.
off an $800 buy-in.
That's classic, man. That, ladies and gentlemen, classic dice whisperer.
Well, when you get in that move, you get in that groove. I've told you before, when it starts happening, you better be ready to pounce on it.
Bet the numbers that you're
So
throwing.
what if I've got $4,000 or $5,000 sitting on the table? I got 8,500 in the rack.
Yep.
I would not have that in the rack if I didn't have that on the table. That's the way I look at it.
I agree.
That's the way I look at it.
We have something in common. We do. We have that in common. Takes money to make money.
Yep. You got to make an investment.
That's the cost of doing good business.
Yeah.
That's the cost of pumpkin picking.
And I've got that. I mean, this is the funny thing. My first point was a 4. My first point was a 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I threw the full ATS before I made that point of 4.
Oh, wow.
So it was a while. And then I made a bunch more points after that, but I couldn't throw a 7 to reset that ATS on the come out for anything. I colored up, went to the cage, got all them Franklins in my pocket.
Yep.
Go to the Laurel Lounge,
Mm-hmm.
get me a little bourbon right before last call because it was almost 10 o'clock, and walk back out. And there was another table that was open. I bought in for 1,000 and I lost 500 or 600 and said, "Oh, the magic's gone.
Man,
I'm
so
out of here."
After all of that, you just couldn't just take your little wheelbarrow full of pumpkins back up to your room. You had to try again. You had to try again. I would have been like, I'm
The
going to
table was
sleep.
empty.
So what? I'm going to sleep. I just made $8,000 off my 800. I'm going to sleep. I'm having great dreams. But you were just like, you know what? Let me try again.
Yeah. I've had good luck on that table before.
Okay, well,
So I'm like
okay. What was your stop loss on that last one?
500. I bought in for 1,000,
Okay,
500.
cool. Then you're like, I'm going to bed. Magic's over.
It's really more of a gut thing. This ain't working. I'm out of here. But yeah, I walked out down, put the chips in my pocket,
Mhm.
didn't even go to the cage, went to the room, crashed.
Nice. That's a good day one. I could have just left Tunica, got up,
Could have.
grabbed a pumpkin spice latte, and got on the road. But
I hate
what'd you
pumpkin
do?
spice.
I know, but man, it's pumpkin season.
It is pumpkin season.
We hope you enjoyed this podcast and will tell all of your fellow craps playing friends about it. Please follow Casino Tears on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app. If you like the show, please rate it 5 stars and leave a review. The best and most fun way to contact us would be to call and leave a message on our official Casino Tears vent line, 229-07. You can also email us at no7@casinotears.com. New episodes drop weekly every Tuesday. On behalf of Roll to Win Craps from Alabama and 10 Ton is number one from Las Vegas, thanks for listening.